Now, one project that has been so closely watched and its progress eagerly anticipated by both the industry and the public is the Dangote Refinery. Launched in 2013, the $18.5 billion plus industrial project that's double the initial cost is the largest single-train refinery in the world. Now, according to the Dangote Group, and should at full capacity have the largest crude refinery capacity on the African continent. The facility is expected to refine 350,000 barrels per day, initially rising to 650,000 when fully operational, and to produce diesel, jet fuel, automotive fuel, and liquefied petroleum gas. A further 5 million barrels are scheduled to come on stream in the coming weeks. Now, the industrial site has been built next to the new Lekki Deepwater Port, which is intended to relieve congestion at the Port of Lagos, but also to export some of Dangote's refined oil to other African countries. Now, according to Dangote, eventually at least 40% of the refinery's capacity will be available for export, which should result in significant foreign exchange earnings for the country. But as one would expect, many people are of the opinion that the country does not depend entirely on another man's business, because it is another man's business. But anyways, joining us to have this conversation, I'm now joined by Mr. Diran Fawibe, oil and gas expert in Lagos, Nigeria, and the co-chairman of ISL. Thank you so much, Mr. Diran, for joining us.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you too, Mr. Fawibe. We're talking about the Dangote Refinery, and I think it's best to start off by asking how significant is the arrival of the, Dangote Refinery in general for the refinery itself and for the country?
Well, the refinery coming into operation is very significant, for the country, for the Dangote Refinery itself, because when you embark on a project of this magnitude, the implication is that you put a lot of effort, into constructing the refinery. Anybody who knows the planning, the design, and the construction of a chemical plant, we understand that a plant of this nature is a gigantic investment, gigantic complex, and with the capability to process different types of crude oil and also churning out various types of products. It's a no mean feat, for Dangote and the people who work in that plant to make it come to reality. It's one of the biggest refineries in the world, and this happening in our country where we manufacture hardly anything. And most of the equipment installed there were imported. And the only thing that we normally do in this type of thing is the civil works construction and so on. So to be able to put up this kind of plant, one has to salute the courage and for the effort of the planners, the builders, the constructors, and everybody connected to this building this refinery. So it's very significant for Nigeria in terms of the output we expect from there. For many years, Nigerian refineries have not been operating, and the end result was that we have been importing petroleum products to the country. And we have said this often and more often than not. There's a big shame that a major producing country like Nigeria, with installed capacity of about 445,000 refinery capacity, has to be importing liters of every liter of fuel consumed in the country from other countries. It shouldn't happen. Normally, there was a time when we were practically self-sufficient, when all the refineries were operative, and even for a brief period, Nigeria was exporting petroleum products to other countries. But now it came about that we were not able to refine a single liter of fuel in the country, which means that energy security was not there at all, which used to be a major issue for many countries, in terms of energy security. So, but now that we are having this refinery coming on stream, it's a major achievement for Nigeria, and the impact on the economy will be very tremendous, both in terms of supply of fuel and the removing the hardship that Nigerians have been going through when there was fuel scarcity and people had to be queuing for hours at the fuel stations, and with all the inconveniences that came along with it. So now that the refinery is coming on stream and will be able to produce refined products in the country, it's a major achievement for the country.
Right, Dr. Fawibe, thank you for that. Now, some people are of the opinion that the country need not depend on the refinery, seen as it's just one man's business, and they would want to make their own profit as well at the end of the day. For example, 3 months ago, that was in September, Dangote Group's Executive Director, Devakuma Edwin, revealed that the refinery would sell petrol to Nigerians in US dollars and not Nigerian naira. And that caused a lot of reaction online, as though people were expecting, them to sell short. And it further buttresses the points that we're trying to make. What do you make of that?
Well, ordinarily, given the banking rules and monetary policy in the country, Nigerians will be paying naira for the fuel they buy at the various fuel stations. Whatever is the mechanism, arrangement between Dangote Refinery and the various distributors of petroleum products, you will never expect any Nigerians to carry dollar bills to fuel stations to pay for whatever volume of or liters of fuel being purchased to fill their tanks, motor tanks, or do whatever they want to do. As far as Nigeria is concerned, naira is the legal tender. Now, for ordinarily, the investment made by Dangote in the refinery was secured by through American dollars. So when we are talking about $19 billion investment, it wasn't $19 billion. It was naira. It was billion of dollars. So ordinarily, Dangote will want to cash the returns in dollars, because, as you know, it was he had to pay back the investors or the banks that loan money for the building of the refinery. But what is going to happen is that Dangote Refinery will have to go through the banking system to exchange the naira for dollar. But the good news is that at a point, Dangote Refinery will be exporting some of the products to African countries, in which case Dangote Refinery will be able to realize foreign exchange in form of dollar or whatever currency that they will have to be paying for the export. So it will not be a direct payment of forex. But as for Nigeria, and Nigerians, we would then have to be paid naira. Like I said earlier, Dangote will have to find a way through the banking system, to pay, to convert the naira revenue into foreign exchange. So nobody needs to panic or to have any anxiety as to how what kind of currency they will be paid for the fuel that they are going to buy.
Now, we do understand that the refinery did experience some challenges, with construction, development, and of course, with the start date, because we noticed that they kept, moving and moving, and initially it was supposed to be for November, but it's starting in December. What do you think were some of the challenges that they faced?
Well, like I said before, when you are putting up a plant of this nature, even in advanced countries, when you are putting up a chemical plant, you come across various challenges and that you have to surmount. A lot will depend on the level of planning that you have made at the beginning before you start the construction. The design will have to follow international standard, and that is what must have been done or was done with respect to this refinery. As we said earlier, it's one of the biggest refineries in the world. And many people would doubt the capability of this type of plant being undertaken in this part of the world. But given the courage and the guts of the company and the owners of the stakeholders, lo and behold, the refinery has come to stay. And it's a measure of technology development that we have been able to achieve, or we call it technology transfer, to Nigeria, because we have three refineries. If we take Port Harcourt, old and new as one, we have another one in Warri and another one in Kaduna, and they are put together. They have about 45,000 barrels per day throughput capacity. But this single one is 650,000 barrels per day capacity. So it's a very complex plant, that is where there are so many process units of high standard, that have been put together. If you go there, visit this refinery, you will be amazed at the level of engineering that has been done, to be able to construct this. And then when you look at the refinery being built, and it's an edifice, and then you have to salute the ingenuity of the people who build the refinery, both foreign and local operators, and who worked on the refineries. And we also have to give credit to Dangote, haven't trained so many Nigerians, to be able to fit into this type of thing. You won't expect foreigners to be brought from abroad to man the refinery. Yes, initially you will have to bring some people from abroad, from overseas, various countries, to get engaged. But you can. This is not sustainable on a long-term basis. You cannot put this kind of plant and then expect that your own nationals are not participating. So, and Dangote has trained so many Nigerians,
right,
in readiness for this plant coming on stream. So, I believe that going forward, many plants will borrow a good leaf from the arrangement that has been made for this refinery to come on stream. And we only hope that some of the people that have been trained will not japa and create problems for this refinery, because it's a very complex operation. And if you want to manage a chemical plant of this nature, people that have been trained will have to be in strategic places,
okay,
so that the plant will run smoothly without any problem.
Right. All right, Dr. Fawibe, how would you say that this refinery will fit into Nigeria's broader economic development plans?
Well, it goes without saying that this is a major factor, in terms of economic development of this country. For one thing, it's not just that we are going to have an industrial plant of high magnitude, operating in Nigeria, but also, for a while, we have been importing petroleum products. The fact that the output of the refinery will back out, imported fuel, which has the availability of which has created problems for Nigeria. Foreign exchange earnings that we have been spending on some other other important industrial goods for the manufacturing sector was diverted to importation of fuel. When a commodity in the name of fuel is copying about 25 to 30% of foreign exchange earnings in the country. And if we are now producing the refined products in the country, I will no longer be spending foreign exchange earnings on the imported fuel. This money could be that this foreign exchange earnings could be diverted to some other strategic areas of our economic life. So this is a very important development for Nigeria in terms of foreign exchange earnings. And today we are having some challenges in terms of exchange rates and so on, because if the demand for foreign exchange is very high, obviously it will affect the exchange rate, well, especially when we don't have foreign exchange, enough foreign exchange earnings to defend the naira. In the past, we used to export a lot of crude oil when we were producing about 2 million barrels per day, and then we export crude oil on which we had foreign exchange. And in turn, central bank will be able to put such money in the forex market, and that's why you have some relative stability in terms of exchange. But with the low production level we are having in the country, Nigeria has been struggling to produce oil, producing just over 1 million barrels per day. Today, I think the level of production is about 1.4 million barrels per day. And coupled with the oil theft going on, this has actually undermined the Nigerian economy, both in terms of foreign exchange availability and also the impact of government revenue. And so these are the issues that we are now going to be resolving one by one, as in 2024. So Nigeria and Nigerians and the Nigerian government and Aliko Dangote, a worthy son of Nigeria, have to be commended for achieving this feat of a refinery coming on stream. It's one major plant, one major enterprise in Nigeria that today will change the landscape of Nigerian oil and gas industry. Like I said somewhere else, Nigeria will now start to re-establish its leadership in Africa, because energy supply is one of the major areas of energy security for any country. And once a country that is able to supply itself, its economy with adequate energy, and then also supply other countries. And these other countries will now be looking up to Nigeria, for securing their energy needs. And that, of course, will raise the profile, of energy, raise the profile of Nigeria. Many countries tend to use this as a part of their foreign policy making and decision making, so that to boost our image in the community of nations.
Dr. Fawibe, do you see any drawbacks of the refinery for Nigeria?
Could you come back again?
Do you see any drawbacks, any disadvantages? I mean, we've talked about the benefits, but are there any disadvantages in the long run of the refinery for Nigeria?
Well, of course, I don't envisage any setback or any disadvantage, because it's an enterprise, that will impact positively on Nigeria economy. And we only hope that the refinery will operate optimally. We won't witness the type of thing that characterize the operation of government refinery. Of course, I don't expect this will happen, because if Nigerian government refineries were in the hands of private sector, nobody will put those refineries in the present state they were for many years, and then even they were spending billions of dollars over what we don't know what the money was being spent on. No private investor that has borrowed money that will keep the refinery not working for many years. So, so it's inconceivable that Dangote Refinery will go suffer the fate that the existing government refineries had suffered over the years. So, and like I said, if the refineries if the refinery is managed properly, because one of the major things that will affect the profitability or operation of a refinery is if there is no proper maintenance, either in terms of predictive maintenance or routine maintenance, before it even gets to the point of turnaround maintenance. And when you have downturn in the operation, then there could be a problem. Say the refinery business is profitable, but at the same time, it's only profitable if you manage it efficiently. There is a narrow margin, on in the business, but the one good thing about this refinery of this capacity is that you can achieve economies of scale, given that you have capacity for 650,000 barrels per day, which is different from about 100 or 150,000 barrels per day capacity. So you'll be able to spread your cost over a larger volume of output. So, but it also puts pressure and exact pressure on you to be able to manage it properly. If there is no downtime, on the operation,
right,
you'll be able to produce up to a reasonable maximum level that you can do. So,
okay,
the refinery must be operated with a high degree of efficiency.
All right, Chairman of International Energy Services Limited, IESL, Dr. Oladiran Fawibe, also an oil and gas expert in Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us to discuss the Dangote Refinery and what to expect from it. Thank you once again for your time with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's a pleasure. Well, you're still watching Village Square Africa. When we come back, we'll take a detour to Zimbabwe to take a look at why there was voter apathy in the elections. Do stay with us.